Hello all, Rue here. I've recently made a Wattpad account where I plan to write my fanfictions there from now on, and read them to you on YouTube in the form of an audiobook / AudioFic, short for audio fanfiction. This way you can read along or have the fanfic be read to you as you are doing other things, like going about your day, or, drawing. Basically just have this thing be in the background, I guess. If you don't feel like reading things yourself. This is my first time doing this, and I do hope to keep doing more in the future. Maybe even with my own original stories? Who knows? Anyways, let's start with this first fanfic that I wrote.
Pico! I got a great idea!
Boyfriend chirped rather excitedly, while running towards the other male, who was lying on the sofa watching TV and minding his own business until he heard the brunette call to him. Pico raised an eyebrow and replied,
What?
Sounding rather unimpressed and with a bored look. He pretty much predicted already that whatever boyfriend had in mind, it'd be pretty chaotic. If last week's bathroom flooding incident told him anything, is whatever boyfriend has cooking up in his mind cannot be anything but trouble. We just hope that the mess won't be any bigger than last time. Especially since it took 3 days to clean the colorful stains that those bath bombs left all over the floors, walls, and other bathroom items. Even his own clothes.
There's a brand new trend going on Twistern.
Boyfriend answered Pico's question as he held up his own phone to show him the trend. Pretty much putting his phone right up to the other's face as if the brunette was an energetic kid showing a parent their drawing.
This one's surely gonna get me noticed,
he boldly stated. Pico rolled his eyes to take a look.
Let's see.
The short video was of some shirtless guy on top of a pretty expensive looking car, flexing their muscles as if they had much to show for. There was also music in the background while the camera panned to them from different directions and angles in a curved motion. It's as if the guy was posing for some sort of car commercial. To Pico, it looked ridiculous. Something he'd see on TV. He'd tell boyfriend as such if he hadn't looked into his eyes and seen the sparkle of excitement in them. Once he has his mind set on something, boyfriend won't back down so easily. While Pico does admire those traits in boyfriend and finds them rather hot sometimes, they are also quite troublesome to deal with. Especially when boyfriend gets a really stupid idea.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Pico raised a brow to the blue-haired male, perhaps hoping that the look he's giving would be enough to discourage boyfriend from this idea. To his dismay, it didn't.
Absolutely!
Boyfriend yelled with confident certainty that almost made Pico deaf for a second.
You don't even have a car. Heck, I don't even have one either. So how are you even going to do this challenge?
Pico reasoned, despite knowing he'd regret the answer. But he had to try, right? Boyfriend smirked mischievously. Pico could only respond with a nervous gulp. The two were outside, and to Pico's dismay, they were on one of their neighbors' driveways, staring at an expensive-looking car parked next to the house. Pico slowly turned his head to boyfriend, sounding like metal grinding metal.
What the absolute fuck?
His head formed a vein from his skull. Boyfriend just picked his ear with a pinky, making sure to himself that Pico didn't make him deaf.
Jeez, chill, will ya? The neighbor isn't home, but
others around us might hear ya.
Well, maybe we shouldn't be here just to do a stupid twister challenge. That app rots people's brains with ridiculous tricks anyway.
Pico was shaking his hands, having them like claws to emphasize his frustration, as well as how stupid this idea is. Boyfriend waved his hand dismissively.
Oh, please. We'll be fine.
Boyfriend then took his phone out of his pocket and tossed it over to Pico. Pico struggled a little to catch it in a rather comedic fashion, before managing to get a hold of Boyfriend's phone and sighing in relief. Pico watched in dismay as Boyfriend walked over to the car. Boyfriend just smiled at him and gave a wink. Pico rolled his eyes in response, of course.
Alright, fine then. If you ain't gonna listen to me, then at least promise we'll be out of here in no time. I'm not gonna be paying damages to anyone's bad choices.
Pico then swiped to the phone's video record setting.
Can't you just shoot the guy?
Boyfriend asked as he was climbing the car.
B, it's way more expensive to bail myself out of prison than it is to bail you out after causing arson to a fast food restaurant.
Pico argued as he aimed the camera towards the other.
I still don't understand how that kind of shit works.
Boyfriend muttered to himself as he got himself ready to pose. Boyfriend stood on top of the car, placing his foot right onto the window and doing a victorious pose, as if he won a fight against a fire-breathing dragon, while Pico did his best to record and pause to do panning shot effects. He has never manned a camera before, so it was definitely difficult. Then suddenly... Pico lifted his head up and saw, in shock, that Boyfriend had applied so much pressure to the window of the car that his foot actually broke through.
Do you have some kind of fat ass or some shit? How the fuck?
Pico shouted as he ran over to look at the damages. Boyfriend had cartoonish tears of panic run down his eyes.
I don't know! Get me out of here!
The brunette then began to flail his arms.
Has this guy never heard of bulletproof car windows?
Hold still, you dumbass!
Pico wrapped his arms around Boyfriend's waist and tried to pull him out. Then, to make matters worse, the car's alarm blared loudly as if it was the alarm of a fire truck.
Shit.
Pico muttered under his breath. The two can see lights coming on from other people's houses due to the noise.
Well, at least the situation couldn't get any worse, right?
Boyfriend hoped they could still get out of this once Pico pulled them out. And then... the lights of the neighbor's house whose car they broke turned on.
Hey, you said the house was empty!
Pico looked at him glaring.
I think I forgot to check upstairs.
Boyfriend gave an anime sweat drop once he remembered that. Pico facepalmed with one hand while still holding Boyfriend's waist with the other. Both Pico and Boyfriend gripped the bars of their cell. They pretty much got sent to prison for the charges of either attempted car theft or causing property damage to said car. They were both adorned in orange prison jumpsuits. Pico looked annoyed while Boyfriend looked in dismay.
B, give me one good reason why I shouldn't fucking kill you while we're in prison.
Pico turned to him with his left eye twitching and his teeth clenched with fury.
I'm hot, sexy, and you like to bang me?
The brunette just grinned stupidly after coming out with that kind of answer.
And you also love me very much.
Pico just hung his head and sighed. His anger diminished from that response. Boyfriend saw this and felt rather guilty. Though that vanished in an instant once he got an imaginary light bulb shined above his head.
I think I know how we can get out of here.
Boyfriend said as he reached from behind the pants of his orange prison attire.
How?
Pico, still looking defeated, looked at him. From between his cake factory-sized cheeks, Boyfriend extracted a microphone.
This!
The brunette flashed that familiar cocky grin. Pico sighed at first, then let out a chuckle.
Well, better wrap our way out and stay here then.
And thus, they proceed to probably rap battle everyone there, including the prisoners, just because they were bored. Did they escape? Well, they formed a prison gang before causing a riot to escape. So all's well that ends well. Probably.